Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to Telecom Junkies.
Telecom Junkies,
where you get your fix of telecom analysis and a bit of attitude in this bi-weekly podcast featuring some of the most dynamic personalities in telecom today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Telecom Junkies. This is George David, president of CCMI and publisher of The Voice Report, and we've got a full agenda today. In fact, this is a first. We will actually have 5 guests with us today. And the reason we're doing that is, let me just give you the background. Later on this month, at the latter part of May up in Boston, the Avaya Users Group will be having their annual meeting. And on the Sunday of the meeting, May 20th at 3:30, Mark Fletcher with Avaya is going to host the E911 Great Debate. And he will have 4 people with him on that panel session. So let me tell you who those 4 people are. They were all with us on this podcast along with Mark. On that panel will be Nick Maier, who's Senior VP at RedSky, Bill Svien, Vice President of Corporate Strategy at 911 ETC, Tim Kenyon, President of Conveyant Systems, and Deich, who's Director at 911 Enable. And each of these gentlemen will be on the panel. So with that, what we thought we'd do is give Mark an opportunity to tell you a little bit about the format of the panel session or the debate, and then give each of these gentlemen an opportunity to tell you how they fit into the marketplace. And then, folks, you can revisit us in a couple of weeks after the session, and we'll give you a recap of actually how the debate went, give everyone a chance to kind of speak their piece one more time. So with that, Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you, and why don't you take it from here?
Thanks very much, George. I really appreciate you having me on again. This is something that we actually did at the Northeast User Group back in the fall of last year. We kind of tested it out to see how it worked, and we found the little glitches, and we've tweaked them a little bit with the intention of doing this again at the International Users Group meeting that, again, is happening, as you said, May 20th, which is Sunday, up in Boston. So this is going to take place at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and we'll have all 4 vendors.
You'll probably get better attendance in the afternoon at 3:30 at night, Fletch. That's a good idea.
Well, hey, we do. It is the IAUG conference.
You never know. There might be
there's a lot of people floating around at 3:30 in the morning. That's a whole other story.
Right.
But the idea of the debate is that everybody has the 911 problem within their enterprise, and there are various different ways of solving that problem. So when you're looking to develop a solution for your enterprise business, you really have to kind of understand what you're looking at. So the debate was there not to really pit one against the other. The debate was designed to highlight and accentuate each individual manufacturer's strategy, vision, direction, secret sauce, if you will, to say, here's what I add to the big puzzle, and then let enterprises compare those side by side in an open forum. When you're looking at product sheets, it's not always easy to put everybody side by side. So we're getting this done at the beginning of the session, which gives everybody a great opportunity to ask questions, hear the elevator pitch, and then spend some time in the booth with each particular vendor, and then really find out what solution is best for them. So what I thought I'd do,
and Fletch, just to make that clear, all 4 of these gentlemen, all of their companies will be represented at the conference and will be exhibiting at the conference, correct?
Absolutely. All 4 have been longtime supporters of IAUG, and they all will be at the conference.
Great.
So what I'd like to do is give each one a 60, 90-second opportunity to provide a little elevator pitch on what they feel is valuable about their particular company and their product, just to give a little teaser of what we can find to plant some seeds on what the questions can be. And we will be taking questions from the audience there, as well as doing a tweet chat, so we'll have this out on Twitter real time with the debate. So first I'd like to ask Nick Maier. Nick, give us a little overview.
Thank you, Mark. I'm Senior Vice President for RedSky Technologies, and RedSky Technologies has been in the E911 business since 1999 when we launched our first software application. We now have well over 500 enterprise customers that are using both our premise-based software products as well as our cloud-based E911 solutions, including 50 Fortune 500 companies, a number of federal, state, and government agencies and Department of Defense agencies. E911 is a very important issue for many enterprises, particularly as enterprises are moving forward into IP and SIP communications and into unified communications. And one of the aspects that I think is most interesting in our business now has been the advent of the cloud. And the cloud is going to change everything in terms of voice communications and unified communications. And similarly, it's going to have a big effect on E911. So I think we're going to see a strong movement towards cloud-based solutions, where previously in the past enterprises have adopted premise-based solutions. They are going to be moving strongly to the cloud, because the cloud answers many questions that enterprises are going to have with the mobility of users using unified communications.
Thanks. Really appreciate that, Nick. Great explanation, and I certainly agree with you. Everything is moving into the cloud these days, and that's one of the things that actually causes problems with a lot of 911 deployments. So, Bill Svien with 911 ETC, thanks for joining today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and 911 ETC.
Sure. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me today. 911 ETC, we've been a cloud-based, hosted software as a solution provider since our inception in '96. We've been doing this, and this is the only business that we've been doing since '96. And we've been providing solutions to the enterprise marketplace, as well as the ITSPs, VSPs, in this hosted environment, basically since our inception. We provide solutions that are either in a TDM or IP environment. So when we're talking about PS Alley, we've got a solution for it. If we're talking about IP connectivity, we have a VPC service for that as well. So virtually everything is connected to the client via databases, through routines, subroutines, rules of engagement. We establish that ongoing exchange of information and exchange of location data between the client, ETC, and the telcos and or PSAPs on an ongoing basis. And we've been doing this in the cloud, again, since our inception. In an IP environment, ETC also provides the cloud service that provides actual capabilities for routing, the routing of the actual 911 call as it's being presented to the PSTN network, and routing the call correctly to the right PSAP. So we look at our organization as a service-based, simple, cost-effective solution where we're interfacing to the client in various different methods and methodologies to allow for a very, very cost-effective solution. Where we do need on-site discovery, on-site notification, we're joined at the hip with one of our other panelists, Conveyant Solutions. And by providing the one point of contact for ongoing support and serviceability between our two companies, we actually become the integrator for a full E911 solution. Interestingly enough, though, where we do come across a client that we find that they could actually do it themselves, or let's say Conveyant could do it themselves and provide just on-site notification, we'll release that client either to provide their own E911 solution and suggest to do so, or we'll steer them directly back to Conveyant. Again, the whole idea, and this has been our mantra since our inception, is that we want it cost-effective so that every organization should be able to implement and afford an E911 solution for their organization for the safety of their employees as well as their visitors. So that's what we do in a nutshell, and thanks again for having us.
Great, Bill. Really appreciate you attending today. Next up, we have Tim Kenyon with Conveyant Systems. Tim.
Thank you, Fletcher, and George, thank you for having us here today. Since 1987, Conveyant Systems has been providing location management applications for the enterprise through our teledirectory product line. Several years ago, we were asked by one of our larger federal customers, the United States Senate, to develop a custom 911 solution for their specific needs. Senate had investigated multiple solutions from other vendors, and none of them at that time could meet the technical requirements for this customer, or the cost associated with implementing such a deployment was cost prohibitive at the time. Conveyant agreed to explore this project for the Senate and develop a solution for that customer that not only met their technical and cost requirements that they had established, but we also delivered a solution that is hands down the most feature-rich solution in its class. It is the intended mission of Conveyant Systems to provide our customers with the required education needed to be able to make an informed decision when searching for their enterprise 911 solution. Based upon our evaluations of this market segment and the rapidly evolving technology changes in E911 that we're witnessing today, we saw that there was so much confusion in regards to enterprise 911 solutions that were being offered that there was really no respect being shown to the enterprise that needed to implement a solid 911 location management application and notification system. Customers were confused or are confused, and there are vendors out there that thrive on that confusion in the marketplace. I kind of look at the sales techniques that have been used by some vendors over the years, like that alarm company sales rep that starts cold calling in your neighborhood after a recent burglary or other tragic event. Their goal is to sell you a product by playing against your fear or lack of knowledge. And that is a philosophy in sales that my company has not nor ever will support. By providing an education to the enterprise about 911 and all of the functionality involved in a 911 call, the enterprise can gain a greater understanding of the entire process, and with that added knowledge, can now make an informed decision about which solution they desire to pursue. The technology that is available now in the Avaya call service, as an example, is many steps further along than they were a decade ago, when enterprise 911 solutions were only offered by a limited number of vendors. Those call service from Avaya now carry most of the routing and even the alerting capability that is required to meet most legislative requirements that the enterprise may encounter. And offerings such as Conveyant Sentry emergency location management solutions enhance those services to provide a more robust discovery method and enhanced notification method where we can provide a greater level of detail to meet all of a customer's needs. And with our solutions architected in a modular fashion, the customer can choose only to purchase what they really need, not what a vendor says they have to have, which is, adding on to what Bill had just mentioned, that, Conveyant has a on-site notification and discovery process that enhances what the customer already has built into their call servers. And then when other services may be required, such as those provided by 911 ETC, who we tend to partner with in these solutions, then we'll push the customer in that direction. But being built in a modular fashion, the customer can go either way. Using industry-standard protocols and non-proprietary hardware, or even better, utilizing virtual machine environments that are so prevalent today, the Conveyant DLM solutions are able to meet the majority of all of our enterprises, needs at an affordable cost. Sentry solutions are now implemented in several large federal customers, state, local government, and many large enterprise corporate customers today. And we highly encourage anyone listening today to attend the Great E911 Debate at this year's IAEG conference in Boston. And we look forward to seeing you and talking with you and educating you about 911 and why Conveyant Systems and our Sentry ELM solutions are setting the new standard in 911 for the enterprise.
Great. Thanks very much, Tim. Appreciate it. So, Lev, last but not least, our friend from up north in Canada, Lev Deich with 911 Enable.
Thank you, Mark. 911 Enable is founded in 2005 with a commitment to providing E911 solutions with a specific emphasis on IP telephony, and that's where most of the issues come up. We've been providing 911 solutions for a wide range of customers, including some Tier 1 carriers, VoIP service providers. So a lot of these issues we talk about, E911 in the cloud, we've been involved with that from day one. Enterprises as well is an important market. Telematics, both vehicle and personal telematics, and relay call centers for hearing impaired and nurse calling health centers. So as you can see, we have a wide range of customers, and everyone needs basically the same solution, is to connect to public safety. A lot of the technology you see today in 911, we've pioneered. We were the first to launch a VoIP positioning center service for the enterprises. We pioneered that back in 2006. And today, we provide 911 support to over 1,000 organizations, most of them in the U.S., but some up in Canada and even some in Europe. And we route over 250,000 emergency calls through our network annually. Now, really our focus is on trying to address specific requirements in the enterprise market, and we understand that they can be simple sometimes and they can be very complex, and that we have modular solutions that can address all of those issues. We also understand that enterprises are generally understaffed, and sometimes a 911 project is something that's put at the end of the queue. So we focus on ensuring that our solutions are quick to implement and, most importantly, easy to maintain.
Thanks very much, Lev. I do appreciate it. So George, as you can see, we've got a lot of different ideas, a lot of different opinions from four very, very reputable companies, but all have a little different slant on 911. Now you can see why the customer's confused.
It sounds like it's going to be an exciting session too. I hope you've got. How much time do you have budgeted for the panel session or the debate?
I believe we have an hour, if not 90 minutes.
Okay, all right. I think you're going to need it. There's a lot to talk about, and like you said, everyone is just a little bit different, coming at it from just a little bit different place, and then you've got kind of some cross company issues like how to deal with the cloud and stuff like that. So it should be a lot of fun, folks. If you are listening and are planning on attending, make sure you circle this one on the agenda. Don't miss it. I think it's going to be interesting and informative, and again, give you an opportunity to get some insight into each of these companies and hopefully visit with them and learn a lot more about their product offerings and their service offerings. So what we will do then, at least our commitment to our listeners here for the Junkies, is we'll circle the same group back together, a week or so after the conclusion of the user group conference, and kind of get a what's the best word here? A debriefing on how well the debate went. How's that, Mark? Is that a good word to use?
I think that's pretty fair across the board.
Wonderful. Well, gentlemen, I want to wish you a successful and informative conference. Hope it goes well. Mark, I'm sure your panel will go well. And folks, again, if you are attending, make sure you circle this one on the calendar. And if not, come back here and learn more about it about a week or two after the conference. So with that, I will thank you for listening to today's episode of Telecom Junkies, and I'd like to thank all of our guests, Nick Maier, Bill Svien, Tim Kenyon, Lev Deich, and most importantly, Mark Fletcher, for organizing this. Thanks so much, guys. Good luck, and have a lot of fun at the conference coming up.
Thanks, George.
Folks, thanks for joining us today. In the meantime, keep your eyes and ears open for the next Telecom Junkies podcast.
You've been listening to the Telecom Junkies podcast. For proven tips and guidance at all the hot news and analysis, subscribe to The Voice Report at www.thevoicereport.com.